here today, come to you guys with my August TBR. And today we're going to do the Hoktos board as usual. Since reading went somewhat well in July compared to the rest of the year, I have, some expectations of myself. So I actually made the TBR a little bit bigger for this month. So the general rules for this board, as usual, I will be throwing these sort of rubbery circles on the board onto one of the hooks, hopefully hitting him. And for each number there's a prompt, and for each prompt I have to find a correlating book that I will read, during the month. And if I hit the same number 3 times, I'll have to add another throw. And that's basically it. So yeah, let's get started. To do 7 books. Since reading went so well in July, technically I had vacation, so that might have been why, but I'm going to try to add on, so I'm going to do 7 throws for the month of August, and hopefully it will continue going well. This is throw number 1 for August TBR. Nailed it. The prompt was book with nature on the cover, which I feel like I have a lot of, so I should be able to find that. A book with nature on the cover, so I chose Sassy by Madeline Miller. This is a book that's been on plenty TBRs. I have started reading it. I'm about 120 pages into it, but I've mostly read it on my e-reader before going to bed, and I haven't picked it up in months. And I just feel like it's time to finish it because I am enjoying it. I just never prioritize finishing it. So this obviously have nature on the cover because flowers and stuff. But this is about Cersei, who is basically a witch who's been stranded on this island because she pissed her father off. And yeah, she does some witchy stuff. That's all I want to say, but it's really good so far. Throw number 2. Oof. And this prompt was Instagram poll. So my followers on Instagram are going to decide between 2 books and choose which one I'm going to read for the month. Prompt is Instagram poll. So I'll actually, when it gets a little bit more closer to the date of actually reading this particular prompt, I'm going to upload a poll on my Instagram. So if you guys want to decide what I'm going to read, choose between 2 books, please check out my Instagram, links are down below. Throw number 3. Then, book that starts with letter E. I'm going to read Emma Evergreen, the Semi-Magical Witch. And I don't really know much about this at all, but Emma Evergreen is determined to earn the rank of novice witch before her 13th birthday. If she doesn't, she'll lose her magic forever. The only problem, Eva only has a pinch of magic. She summons heads of cabbage instead of flowers, and gets a sunburn instead of calling down rain. And to add insult to injury, whenever she overuses her magic, she falls asleep. When she lands in the tranquil coastal town of Ottery, the residents expect a powerful witch, not a semi-magical girl. So Eva comes up with a plan: set up a magical repair shop to help Ottery and prove she's worthy. She may not have a lot of magic, but her semi-magical fixes repair the lives of the townspeople in ways they could never imagined. Will Eva's bit of magic be enough, where the biggest magical storm in history threatens the town she's grown to love? This enchanting fantasy. This is sort of a spin on Kiki's Delivery Service, I guess, because, it really sounds like it. And that's a book I really enjoyed when I read it, so hopefully I will enjoy this one too. Throw number 4, now there's prompts everywhere, double-checked, triple-checked, ready to go. Nice. And this one is a book that involves travel. Not my biggest trope, but I'm not the biggest fan of it, but sometimes I enjoy it. Depends on how they do it, so hopefully we'll find something good. And then for travel, I chose Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. Apparently I'm trying to read all the books on my TBR pile of shame. But I'm on page 34 in this one. I listened to the first 34 pages as an audiobook 2 years ago or something, and I really enjoyed it because it made me laugh. It was funny, but I don't really remember much, so I don't know, maybe I have to reread it. But this is by Clay Cooper and his band, and they were once one of the best, the most feared and renowned crew of mercenaries this side of Heartwild. Their glory days long past, their marks have grown apart and grown old, fat, drunk, or a combination of the 3. Then an ex-bandmate turns up at Clay's store with a plea for help. The kind of mission that only the brave or the very stupid sign up for. It's time to get the band back together. So traveling, you know, to help their friend. So it counts. I know I'll like this, hopefully, if I don't remember it wrong. But yeah, it's promising. Now we're on throw number 5. Oh shit. I don't want to ruin everything and jinx it by saying I'm awesome at this at the time. But it's going surprisingly well, so now I'll probably jinx it and now I'll throw it all to hell. But this prompt was book with face or a person on the cover. For the prompt, book with face or with a face or person on the cover, I chose The Slightly Alarming Tale of the Whispering Wars by Jacqueline Moriarty. I previously read the extremely Inconvenient Adventures of Bronte Meadowstone, which I absolutely loved. It was so much fun, and this is sort of a prequel to that story. I orphanage school in Spindrift, and the Brothel-Twite boarding school, probably butchered that, and they compete in a sports tournament and tensions are high, and before long the orphans and boarding school kids are engaged in an all-out war. And there's invasions and people disappearing, and it sounds amazing, and I just want to read it already. We're on throw number 6. What did I just tell you? Oh no, is that 13 again? No, it's the one below that. Okay, we're fine. It's fine. We're number 9, so it's fine. But this prompt is new release, which will be very tricky because I haven't bought a single book since September, but technically I pre-ordered one way ahead of that didn't arrive until October, so we're gonna count on October. So I don't really have any new releases, and I don't really want to buy books because I'm trying to decrease my TBR since I haven't been reading anything. So maybe an audiobook, or maybe I just choose one of the newest books I do have. We'll see about that. But one of my newest releases, which is technically not that new anymore, is A Clock of Stars. I think it's the series name. Maybe the title is The Shadow Moth by Francesca Gibbon. This is illustrated by Chris Riddell. This was released during 2020. Don't really remember which month. But yeah, it's one of my newer releases. And I don't really know about this one that much, but I'm just gonna read from this back because it sounds like magical. It's time for a magical new world. Imogen looked at the sign. It said no trespassing. She didn't know what trespassing was, but it sounded like fun. So it's about Imogen, and she should be nice to her little sister Mary. She should also be nice to her mom's boyfriend, and she should definitely not follow a strange silver moth through a door in a tree. But then who does what they're told? Soon Imogen and Mary finds themselves trapped in a magical kingdom where no one behaves as they should, and the sisters must move fast to escape the monsters that come out after dark. Longing to return home, they find help from a spoiled prince, a dancing bear, not a dancing beard because that would be weird, a dancing bear, and even the stars above. So this sounds really magical and beautiful, and just the illustrations are so beautiful. So I feel like this would hopefully be a quick read. And now we're on the 7th and last row for this month. Jesus. I'm not even close. Gosh, really? I'm gonna lose it now? That was so too long. So, pretty sure that's number 13. So, that's the 3rd time I hit number 13, which means I have to add another book. So, we're reading 8 books this month, apparently. So, you know, hopefully reading goes well. So the prompt for this one was Swedish, which is actually perfect because I'm planning to reread a Swedish book this month because the 3rd and last book in a trilogy is coming out this year in October, and I have 2 books to reread before that, so this is perfect actually. The prompt for Swedish, I'm going to reread Björnstad by Fredrik Backman. This is actually translated into English called Beer Town. The 3rd and final book in the trilogy is supposed to come out in October, and I read this a couple of years ago, so I don't really remember much. I just remember absolutely loving it and the heart-wrenching feelings I had while reading it. I love this book and the second one, but this one in particular, so I really need to make my way through them so that I'm prepared for October. So I feel it will be perfect time to reread this. So, you know, something Swedish. So this is about Björnstad, which is a small town where they're really obsessed with hockey. And there's about a couple of guys playing hockey, and you know, they suddenly go very far in the semifinals, and the whole town kind of freaks out and just want everything to, you know, go their way and everything. And since everybody's expectations are on these 70-year-old boys' shoulders, they're just trying to live up to, you know, the hype and everything like that. But maybe one of the players does something it's not supposed to be, and it's about the whole town, you know, turning toward against the victim, so to speak. And I don't really want to say more because, you know, spoilers, but this is a really great book, and I really look forward to reading it again. I just have the added on throw, so hopefully that will go well too. Oh, nailed it. So the last prompt is LBTQ+, which I'm pretty sure I have a shit ton of books that involves that, so that will be very easily, you know, very easy to find something and, you know, to pick among all of the books I have, since I have a lot of unread books. Let's not go into that. Then we have the prompt for LBTQ+, and that's going to be Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar. This is also a book that has been on a lot of TBRs. And I don't really remember much about these books because I haven't read books, okay? Leave me alone. But this is about Felix Love, who ironically enough has never been in love, and he desperately wants to know what it feels like and why it seems so easy for everyone else to find someone. And what's worse is that even though he's proud of his identity, Felix also secretly fears that he's one marginalization too many, black, queer and transgender, to ever get his own happily ever after. When an anonymous student begins sending him transphobic messages after publicly posting Felix's dead name alongside images of him before he transitioned, Felix comes up with a plan for revenge. What he didn't count on, his catfish scenario landing him in a quasi-love triangle. So he's trying to figure out his feelings from there on. And it sounds so good, so I just need to read it already. And yeah, hopefully reading will go better this month. I mean, I am still on vacation for a couple of more days, so hopefully we'll nail this one. So yeah, please let me know down below what you will be reading in the month of August, and I hope we see each other in the next one. Bye!